Hey, Lonnie, just wonder what the level of frustration is for the team and, how you guys kind of take not just tonight's loss, but have the compounding factor of the previous ones and try to do something with it. What's that feeling like?
I mean, there's no worse feeling than losing, especially when you put a lot of time and effort into the game and when you really love it. So it's a long season. Got to stay optimistic. We can't hang our heads down. Every single day we gotta look to get better, watch film, hold accountability, hold each other accountable for what we do, and grow. There's nothing more to do. We just gotta continue to stay the right course, understand that this is a long season, and just keep fighting, keep going. We lost, but it was a close one. We have some hiccups, but we're gonna pick it up.
Of course, teams make runs in this league, but you guys were able to build something like a 13-point lead late in the second. They closed the gap before halftime. Do you think that sequence, those couple minutes, tell the story of what happened tonight?
It kind of tells the story of just how the season's been. We can make these leads, or we'll be up by 6, couple minutes, down by 8 or whatever. We have the tendency of, along with myself, where I take bad shots, or just self-sabotage, where we could play smarter overall. So that just goes with film and growth. But we're going to figure it out.
Lonnie, even though you guys didn't have LeBron, you have some veterans on the floor, including yourself, in the end of both these halves where the Kings kind of make their push. Do you feel like the leadership is still being settled among that group? Does there need to be more sort of clear chain of who's kind of taken over for the team, or what needs to happen in some of those groups?
Nothing. Just playing smarter. That plain and simple. We know who the leader is. AD, LeBron, and Russ. LeBron's not out. That's AD's team. It's Russ's team. And we follow, myself, Pat Bev, Troy, Austin, AR. We're in there to play the right way, play hard, and just give it our all defensively. But when there's 2-3 minutes left, we gotta give it to the big dog and let him work. This is his team, and we gonna ride until the wheels fall off.
And just since we haven't seen you in a couple days, what have the last couple days been like you battling this illness? That's really all we know about it. And how are you feeling today? Obviously, your first play of the game was the dunk.
It's been a struggle, but I'm good. I don't make no excuses. So what you see is what you get. I feel good. I look good. I did what I was supposed to do. We just ain't win. But I'm fine.
Lonnie, is late game execution a part of the growth of this team? You guys were up by 2, 114-112, didn't score again. De'Aaron gets into the lane for floaters. Is that part of the growth you guys are talking about?
Absolutely. On all aspects of the game, that's really just been our main end-all, be-all. It's just self-sabotage, taking bad shots, turnovers. We just got to get out the habit of just having our heads down sometimes when things don't go our way. We just got to continue to fight. But it's part of growth. That's all I can really say. We have great players. We have a whole plethora of players that can do the right thing. But we all knew playing with each other. And along with that, it's time to just watch film together as a team, continue to build up that chemistry, understand what do's and don'ts, where we're playing well, who's doing what wrong, who's doing what right, understanding time and place, and just grow.
Just curious, the post-game message and discussion in the locker room.
Just basically making sure we're doing our due diligence in terms of being disciplined and all the things, our principles. And, as a staff, we just got to continue to grind it out and work, find the combinations that work. But the overall the overall message was just, maintaining, sustaining our competitive edge. Thought we had a great first half, kind of let go of the rope a little bit toward the end of the first half, those last minute 42 when they went on that run. Came out, they outscored us, but by 3, but had what I thought was one of the best third quarters we've had all years, at least scoring the ball, had some things not go our way. And had the game right there all the way down to the end. But, telling them, every day, man, we just got to come with a focus. First of all, being on the same page, staying disciplined. We had some really bad fouls we committed, some bad turnovers. We broke off some plays. And, we'll watch it on film tomorrow. We'll coach them up and then try to make sure we're prepared for Brooklyn on Sunday. But at the end of the day, we all just got to be on the same page, be together, compete together, and be accountable. And me at the top of that list. My staff and I, we feel these losses more than anybody. Well, just as great as anybody. And, we were eager to get to work to try to correct these things.
You mentioned that stretch in the second quarter, and I think you're up 11 with 40-odd seconds left and a couple turnovers. How much did that take away some of the momentum that seemed to be building? Was it tough to get that back? And what did you see specifically in that final minute?
Of the first half? It's just, again, self-inflicted mistakes, whether we're fouling or we lose an assignment or we turn the ball over. Again, we got to be better. We got to coach them harder, coach them better. Just make sure we're communicating clearly, and so we can put them in a position to be successful. It's the NBA, man. You throw records out the window. You give a team any type of life, normally they're going to capitalize on it, and Sacramento did tonight. Even though they got down early, they kept fighting. They're a hungry young team with a lot of offensively skilled players, and Mike's a hell of a coach, and they're not going to stop coming. They're not going to stop coming. So we had some lows, and again, self-inflicted wounds that we definitely need to correct. We got 70 games left, but at some point we got to stop saying that, right? We got to start putting the proof in the pudding. And so tomorrow, we'll sleep on it tonight, go over it, watch the film, come tomorrow, have a good film session, a good practice, and be ready for Brooklyn on Sunday.
Darvin, how would you assess Russell Westbrook's execution and decision-making both at the end of the first half and at the end of the game?
Well, I thought there were some unfortunate plays that he would normally make, but if I had to do it all over again, I'd put him in those same situations. I thought he was huge for us tonight, provided a huge boost at the three-point line overall with his point total. And there's times he pushed the pace, times he really put pressure on the paint, found some guys for easy looks. But it's tough, I got certain things that stick out in my mind, but without going over the film, I can't really get into detail. But I will say this, again, if I had to do all over again, he'd be in the game for sure, and in those situations.
You guys were here 114, 112 late in the game. You didn't score again. What do you think your execution was like offensively and defensively?
BT, it comes down to blocking and tackling. Like executing plays, it comes down to, making forceful, hard scoring cuts, understanding the proper spacing, what the defense is trying to take away from you, and setting good screens. And, again, playing with a pace in the half court. Not so much going fast, but just doing things with a purpose and doing them quickly. Is something that we got to do. And again, as a coaching staff, we got to get better at really presenting those type of scenarios in practice. But difficult to practice, just limited bodies. But at the end of the day, we have time. We have some time here on our side coming up, and that's one of the things we definitely got to do is get in the quarter, in the game execution. But it can be tough at times. The NBA schedule is not nice sometimes, and along with that comes health issues as well. And when you're dealing with those two dynamics, it's pretty tough. But believe me, we're gonna roll up our sleeves like we've always done and correct those things, correct those mishaps.
You just said on Wednesday, LeBron is like our closer, or like my closer, and I have a lot of confidence when he's in the game. And I can tell you don't want to use that as excuse because you've even said LeBron's name yet. But do you feel like there's something about this team that maybe lacks an identity at the end of some of these halves or at the end of the game when a guy who takes the ball in his hands as much as LeBron isn't in the game?
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from, but, obviously, a guy of LeBron's magnitude, you're going to miss that guy. That goes without being said. So, but when he's not available, other people have to step up. We still have Russ. We still have AD, Lonnie, Austin. We still have guys out there that can make plays. Troy, that can make shots. And so we just have to buckle down and really understand what it is that we want to get done. We want to get the ball in AD's hands. What's the best thing to do in that scenario? What's the best play call? But a lot of times, if it's a breakdown in the flow of the game and there's not a stoppage and there's no stoppage, no dead ball to be entered, no free throws coming off free throws or whatever, and in the flow, and you're trying to figure this out on the fly, and they may randomly do something defensively that kind of throws a little monkey wrench in what you're trying to do, but you just got to be ready to react quickly. And again, that comes with time. We got new faces in this group. We haven't had a ton of time to have traditional practices, and that's just not a luxury as much as it used to be now in the NBA. So at the end of the day, it's just, you have to look yourself in the mirror and just know you got to get better, and we got to figure it out, and we got to help them figure it out. But, not having LeBron, I thought tonight was a very winnable game. And, again, we got other guys in that locker room that can step up and make plays and close.
Darvin, kind of two questions for you. First, do you think this team understands right now, like, just how slim its margins are? Like you mentioned, just sort of like the focus that's required. I mean, at the end of the first half today, I mean, it's literally it's 45 seconds.
Yeah, we're seeing it. I mean, we're seeing it, and we're showing it to them, and we're talking about it. We're working on it. It's just the execution of it. It's a process, man. It doesn't happen overnight. We got to keep plugging away. Like this is a big process. Again, we have young players. We have players now who's having more responsibility. We got guys coming back that's been banged up. We have guys out because they've been banged up. So in the midst of all of that, we're trying to find continuity. And so those guys understand, and it's a work in progress. We got a rookie playing in our rotation, Max Christie, who's been solid, and again trying to work him in and learn his habits as we as a team try to be successful defending the ball, and having an identity is one of those things that we got to get back to in terms of the way we're defending. I thought we came out to start the game, and for the better part of the first half, we defended pretty well. Not so much giving up a 30-point quarter in that second quarter, but for the most part, up until like the first 22 minutes, we were defending pretty good. But, it's just the biggest thing, you can't get discouraged, man. This is a challenge, and it's not easy by any means. But this one we're up for, and one we're going to keep trying to plow through.
Kind of along those lines, I mean, there's some guys in that locker room that are really accomplished winners in this league and who've done a lot. Do you think, again, that people understood the magnitude of the challenge? Like you've called it an excavation. Like, do people know, like, how deep the hole is that you guys are trying to dig out? Do you think they all understand that?
Yeah, I think, when you look around and look at their faces, they definitely understand that. We know there's a sense of urgency there where we got to start getting on the right side of these games. And so for me, it's just, I can't go ball up in the corner with my baby bottle and start crying and whining, man. I got to step the hell up. And that's what I plan to do. Me and my staff, everybody in that building, we got to pull together and try to make this thing work. And, it sucks now to be taking these L's and being competitive in these games and not quite being able to close them out. But, again, we just got to keep plowing through, man, keep working, and trust our habits. trust our habits that we're trying to build, trust the habits of competitiveness, trust the habits of being together, and trust the habits of when we do have these type of nights and games that we're able to look at them dead in the face and hold ourselves accountable and hold each other accountable. So that's the biggest thing.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep.